Good morning, Flosstube, or good day, whatever time of day you're watching this. I am Heather, the 20-minute stitcher here on Flosstube and on Instagram. And I want to say a very warm welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. This is episode number 29, and today is Sunday, October 23rd, 2022. So welcome. Today is my daughter's 16th birthday party, so I almost didn't film today because I still have quite a bit to do around the house. So we're pretty much going to get right into things today because I didn't want to not see you guys and not share my stitching with you guys, because I'll tell you, I haven't done a lot of stitching in these last 2 weeks. It has been, I think I mentioned in my last video, right? I had a huge work event coming up in my last video. It was this past Thursday and Friday. I'm traveling this week for work, and then I think things will quiet down a little bit, as quiet as they ever get in my job. But I don't have any more big events coming up. I still have big projects due this year, but no big events for the rest of the calendar year as of now. So hopefully things will quiet down a little bit, and I'll have some more energy in the evenings when I get home. I've just been so exhausted between work and the kids' activities. Football season is also over, which means marching band season is over for now. They march in the spring in our city's St. Patrick's Day parade as well, so it'll pick back up again in a little bit, but we'll have some downtime now. So hopefully I will be able to catch up on some sleep and some rest and get some more stitching done. But I want to say a huge thank you and a huge welcome to all my new subscribers. So in my last video, I was 6 or 7 people away from 750 subscribers. And I had said when I hit 750 that I would do a drawing for one of my floss winders that my dad made. Y'all, when I got on this morning to film this video, I did a quick check and I'm at 798 subscribers right now. Mind blown. So welcome to all of you who are new to my channel. I hope that you will like what you see and that you will choose to stick around and maybe share me with your friends. So today's video, I'm not going to give much more of a life update. I want to get right into things because I know that's what you guys like to see is the stitching. And I still have a bathroom to clean and a deck to clean and a kitchen to clean before my daughter's birthday party today. So quick background, because I do have so many new subscribers. If you have not gone back and watched older videos, I just want to give a quick explanation as to why I call myself the 20-minute stitcher. So I am called the 20-minute stitcher because I am a single parent with 2 children, now 16 and almost 11. And with their activities and my work, there just isn't a whole lot of time for stitching. I often get 20 minutes in a day to stitch, but I still stitch. I still get stuff done. It's amazing how much you actually can get done in 20 minutes, more than you might think. And so that's kind of my goal from my little corner of Flosstube, is to inspire those of you who are busy as well. I mean, we're all busy, right? In different ways, but for those of us for whom our time is really mostly devoted to other people and other things, if you enjoy stitching, you can still get stitching done, even if you only have 20 minutes a day in which to do it. So that is why I call myself the 20-minute stitcher. So let's get right into things. So my last video I filmed on October 9th. So between the 9th and now, I worked again on kind of a lot of different projects. I was being a very moody stitcher these last 2 weeks. I also had, I'm kind of looking at my calendar, like 6 or 7 days where I didn't stitch at all. But on the days that I did stitch, on a couple of them, I had some longer blocks of time. But I also just haven't been in the mood to sit and like really work on something. So again, I have kind of a lot of whips. Not necessarily a whole lot of progress on a lot of them, but a lot to show. So, and then we will do the giveaway for these at the end of the video. In my last video, I also asked if you would be interested in learning a little bit about what I'm reading or some of the other things that I'm doing. Obviously, this is primarily a Flosstube channel, but it sounded like most of you were interested. As I said in my last video, I've noticed that a lot of us who do Flosstube also like to read or listen to audiobooks. There seems to be a big overlap there, so I thought I would share that as well. So I do have 2 books to share, one that I just finished, one that I'm listening to now. So I'll talk about that at the end as well. All right, so let's get right into it. I do have one new start, and I did the poll in my comments from my last video, and then I also put a poll on Instagram. The new start is by Hands On Design, and it is the re-release of October's. I love Anne of Green Gables, and so when I saw this pattern re-released, I had to get it, right? It's the quote from Anne about, "I'm so glad that I live in a world where there are Octobers." And in my last video, I had you all sort of give me your thoughts on which of the Cottage Garden threads, Cross Stitch the Rainbow, the Autumn Garden Sampler floss I should use. So between all of you who commented on my Flosstube video and then the poll that I put out on Instagram, the winning color, I only have like a tiny little piece of it, was terracotta. So I started stitching it in terracotta at my daughter's fencing lesson. And then I got creative and I thought, I wonder what this would look like stitched 1/1 instead of 2/2. So then I put that poll out on Instagram. So this was my new start. I did the word I'm sure you can tell, 2 strands of floss over 2 threads of the fabric. And then I started to stitch the word where in 1/1. So 1 strand of floss over just 1 thread of fabric. And I can't decide which one I like better. The poll was, I think, 59-41 in favor of 2/2. And I think I am leaning the 2/2. I love the delicate look of the 1/1. But I feel like the reason I like the terracotta floss, and I'm guessing the reason those of you who voted for terracotta, is the variegation in it. And I feel like the variegation it's not as apparent in the 1/1 because the stitches are so small. So here's my question for you guys for today. 2/2 or 1/1? I'll pull it in a little more closely. So let me know in the comments what you think I should do. I think I'm leaning toward the 2/2, but let me know. So that is October's by Hands On Design, my new start, that then quickly stopped while I was contemplating and seeking your advice on contemplating as well. All right, so then I had several other patterns that I got some work in. One being Halloween Quaker, right? So this is the, by Lila Studios, this is the stitch along, or I guess maybe more appropriately a start along that I'm doing with Bridget, the museum stitcher, and anyone else who would like to join in with us. We are stitching it with the hashtag SpookyQuakerSal. Did not get a lot done on this. So I just added, the last time I showed this, I had kind of this part and like half of this part of the motif completed. And so I finished this, added this, added this. So I'm kind of working my way. This is kind of an oval, semicircular motif here at the edge of the pattern. So didn't get a whole lot done on this, but did work on it some. If you are stitching Halloween Quaker or would like to stitch it and join it, we are not doing, it's not a formal stitch along where we've broken the pattern up and have, dates and goals and things like that. It's really, we would love to see you stitching it. The hashtag is SpookyQuakerSal. I'm sure I will be stitching this for years to come, but because it is on a 40 count, I haven't even said. I'm stitching that on the called for fabric, which is a 40 count murky by Picture This Plus. And, I've been so tired lately that stitching on a 40 count, especially that one that's kind of a darker dye. So the holes are easy to see, but not so easy that you don't have to concentrate on it, right? So I only worked on that, I think, 1 or 2 days, and only for a very little bit of time. But I did work on that. Then I also got out, for the first time in a very long time, hold on, it's stuck in my bag. I was in a very spooky stitching kind of mood. I got back out Tiny Modernist, When Witches Go Riding. So hadn't touched this in a very long time. And I will show you the progress. I stitched on this for a couple of days. And here is where I am now. So again, still very much at the beginning, but I added this star here, the fringe on her broomstick, and started this backstitch here of the word when. So yeah, I only stitched on this for maybe 40 minutes total in kind of 2 different sessions, but it's coming along. I have to admit, I do see the value in gridding your fabric. I kind of wish I had gridded Halloween Quaker, except I hate gridding. It's the most boring thing I've ever done in my whole life. Though, once it's done, like I said, when I sit down to stitch on this, it really does make it a lot faster to figure out if you're in the right spot or not. But anyway, so that is my progress on When Witches Go Riding. I left my backing board downstairs, so. Anyway. All right, the next thing I worked on, and this is probably what I worked on the most, I think in part because I have been so tired, and this is on Ada, so it's just so much easier on the eyes. I have been working on Haunted Fur by Kit and Bixby. And did I start this at StitchCon? No, I started this right before StitchCon in June of 2022. And then it went on vacation for a very long time. And I kind of picked it back up recently, and I've been kind of cruising right along on it. So here's where I am at now. So I filled in this pumpkin until I ran out of the color, which I think is bittersweet maybe. So I have to go either order or go to my LNS and get some more of the color so I can finish filling in this pumpkin. I started in on this cat and then decided I wanted to work on the words. So I started so I got all the black, well, not all the black. I have the other side of the H here that I need to finish, but the words are 2-tone colored, right? So they're black on the bottom and orange on the top. So I got all the words done, and then I started working on this cat that's doing his little elevator butt stretch here. And this is on just a 16 count Ada that was hand dyed by someone in my cross stitch chat that I'm part of, Vanessa. It's gorgeous, and I love how this pattern is popping on the fabric. So this is probably what I spent the most time on in the last 2 weeks, just because it's on an Ada, and so it's been nice and easy on my eyes when I've been so tired. And stitches up pretty quickly, obviously also because it's on Ada, and I can stitch faster on Ada than on some of the linens. The other project that I worked the most on was the Haunted Mansion stitch along from Abbie Sue Designs. This was supposed to be my daughter's birthday gift. I know I had talked before about being all like gung-ho on I'm going to keep up with this and get it done, right? We make plans and God laughs, right? So, but I did get the border almost entirely done. It's hidden by my Q-snap. In the center, there's a little like crystal ball that's at the top that I haven't stitched yet. And then I started in, so the pattern itself is the 3 ghost toasts. It's just their faces. So I started in on the hat for whatever the name of the first one is. I'm forgetting. But I'll get this done. Maybe this will end up being a Christmas gift for my daughter instead of a birthday gift, which is fine because we went to see Les Mis the Sunday before her birthday, which is her favorite show, my favorite show. If the current U.S. national tour of Les Miserables is coming to a city near you and you enjoy the theater, even if you have seen Les Mis before, please go see this production. This was 7th time I've seen Les Mis. The first time was when I was younger than my daughter is now. I was 12 or 13 the first time I saw it. This was by far the best production I have ever seen. I was completely blown away by it. The actors, the performers, the staging, I was just blown away. So anyway, she wanted souvenirs from the show, a sweatshirt and some pins for her backpack and things like that. So I ended up deciding that would be her birthday gift, was I would buy her, within reason, whatever she wanted from Les Mis. She is obsessed with Les Mis. She's reading the full unabridged book right now, which makes me smile because I did the exact same thing after I saw Les Mis for the first time. And so it just makes me smile when I see ways that my daughter is like me. So, anywho's. So Haunted Mansion got worked on again. It's on an Aida, just a printed Aida that came with the kit, and using the DMC that was sent with it, it was sent as a whole kit. And that again was by Abbie Sue Designs. So working on that. 2 patterns left that I've been working on. The other one, so the next one was Happy Fall, or Happy Fall Y'all, by Sweet Wing Studio. This was part of the Autumn Garden sampler, or the Autumn Garden palette, Cross Stitch the Rainbow samplers from Needlework Expo. And the last time I showed this to you, I had all stitched. So now I have finished fall. So this is terracotta, the color that I'm going to use for October's as well. And then I started in on Happy, which is in the color Dandelion. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that cut on my finger. Dumb cat. I was not getting his breakfast for him fast enough this morning, and he jumped up at my hand and like tried to hold my hand, but had his claws out, which was not cool. Anyway, I just sort of didn't realize that it looked so red and ugly. So anyway, so I added the F, I added most of the H. This was just one. I only stitched on this once for like 20 minutes. But there we go. So that's Happy Fall Y'all by Sweet Wing Studio. I'm stitching this one in hand with the Autumn Garden palette floss from Cottage Garden Threads. This is the thread pack here, if you haven't seen it yet. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous. And there were about 25 different designers who all designed a smalls pattern, right? So a 60 by 60 or smaller pattern using only those colors. So, and I know at least Top Knot Studio or Top Knot Stitcher Shop is sold out of the Cottage Garden threads, because I tried to order another set because I thought to myself, gosh, I purchased like 5 or 6 of these patterns. I'm not going to have enough floss to stitch all of them, so I'm going to have to keep checking and get some more. Last pattern that I worked on in these last 2 weeks was Hive Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. Again, only worked on it once during my daughter's Scouts meeting, and so didn't get a lot done on it. But I will show you where I am at with this one. I have 2 needles going in this right now. So I finished up this little bee here. Sorry, I'm pointing at the back of the fabric like you could see my hand. Or at least I thought I had finished him up. And then I realized he has 2 little antennae at the top here that I forgot to stitch. So I'm going to have to go back and catch those at some point. And now I'm working on the border that separates this motif from the next one. And I started in on the little bee or butterfly that's on the next one. I guess they're little. Let's look at the pattern and see. Whoa, project bag overboard. Hold on. Yeah, I guess they're tiny little butterflies actually on the next one. So almost done with the first motif here. This is on a 40 count even weave. I think the color is called Honey. I forget the card is. Yeah, the card it's Honey. And this is an even weave by Bestitch Me. And I am stitching this as a model for her new shop, her new brick and mortar shop that she just opened. So that is Hive Rules. That is all of my stitching for these 2 weeks. And so as I said, I was feeling very moody. I wasn't really feeling like kind of focusing in on only one thing. So I kind of just kept picking up different things. So lots to show, not a whole lot of progress on any of them, but would love to sort of get your thoughts on what you like, which pattern you like best, which one you'd like to see me work on some more. I'm not really sure what I'm in the mood to stitch for the next couple of weeks. We'll see. I'll probably take, because I am traveling, I'll probably take Haunted Fur, or actually I'll probably take October's or Happy Fall Y'all, something that's smaller, a little more compact, easier to stitch on the go with me on my trip. But yeah, so that is my stitching for these last 2 weeks. A couple more things. I wanted to give a shout out to one other Flosstube channel, and then we'll do the giveaway, and then I'll share my reading, and then we will say goodbye for another couple of weeks. So quickly wanted to give a shout out to, I think I've mentioned her before a while ago, but then life happened. She's been off Flosstube for a little while, but she's back, and that is the Starlet Stitcher. And one of the reasons I wanted to give her a shout out is I know a lot of the Flosstubers that I watch have been stitching Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. The Starlet Stitcher, she just uploaded a new video. It's her first since June or July. She had kind of one of those just life happening kinds of summers. And so she wasn't recording, but she was stitching. And she, during her hiatus, finished Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut, had it framed. And in her most recent video, shared her fully finished. And it is stunning. That pattern doesn't speak to me particularly, but I certainly recognize the beauty of the work and the stitching. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so I thought of some of you who I know either enjoy Teresa Kogut's patterns generally or are specifically working on that pattern. And I thought you might be interested in seeing the finished piece. So I'll link her in the description below if you've not watched her before, and would encourage you to go over and take a look. All right, last thing, my giveaway. So thank you again to all of you who have been with me from the very beginning and have joined along the way, especially those of you who are brand new. I'm so excited to have hit that 750 subscriber mark. So if you are interested in one of these floss winders that my dad made, so these are 9-inch winders, so they will give you an 18-inch length of thread. So these I like to use with my variegated flosses, because I don't loop start those, right? So the 18-inch length of thread is a perfect length for those. So if you, hiccups. If you are interested in one of these floss winders, in the comments below, please just use the word floss, and you can use it in whatever creative way that you like. And I do read all my comments. I do eventually respond to all of my comments. And I know those of you who commented on my last video, I have not responded yet, and I'm very sorry for that. It's, like I said, it's been a busy couple of weeks. But I will be responding because I do love the community here, and I do love the conversations that we get in on comments. And you can also, if you aren't already, you can follow me over on Instagram, and we can engage and communicate there as well. So use the word floss if you are interested in one of these floss winders that my dad made. I do ask that you be a subscriber, and that you be over 18 and all of the normal stuff. Please don't use the word giveaway or raffle or drawing or anything like that. Just use the word floss anywhere in your comment, and I will enter you in the drawing. I will do that drawing before I film my next video in 2 weeks, and I'll announce the winners on my next video. That is all I have in terms of stitching content. If you are interested in the couple of minutes that I'll be talking about books, please stick along. If you are not, I want to thank you for spending some of your day with me. Happy stitching, and I'll see you soon. All right, so because life has been so busy, I've not really been doing a whole lot of reading either, but I do have one book that I've finished and one book that I am working on right now. Both are from the Modern Mrs. Darcy book club summer reading list, which has been kind of fun because I don't know that either of these are books that I would have picked up on my own if I had just been kind of wandering through my library, which is what I tend to do, is wander through my library, either my physical library or my virtual library through the Libby app. But so the one book I just finished is Olympus, Texas by Stacey Swann. And I really have to get this back to the library because I'm about to get charged for it, I think, because it was due back a while ago. And I was like, but I haven't finished it yet. So this is kind of a modern retelling of Homer's Odyssey, which I've never read, so I don't know how good it was. And I will say that it was a slow start, for me at least. It was a slow start. You kind of are like, why do I care about some of these people? Like, why are some of these people kind of just weird? It's about sort of a family in Texas, Olympus, Texas, that's just super dysfunctional, super dysfunctional. The father has had multiple affairs early in the marriage, has children from those affairs as well as children with his wife. He and his wife stayed together. They love each other deeply, which is kind of interesting. One of the things I really liked about this book was it wasn't idealized in any way, right? Like it kind of embraced the messiness of human love in all of its forms, and how like the things we do for love that sometimes are maybe not the healthiest things, either for us or for the other person. But also, I don't know, it was a slow start, but then once sort of things got going, right? Once the characters were set and the relationships were set and the plot started, and the kind of big plot device, which is someone dies, which isn't it's, if you read the book jacket, it tells you that. So I'm not spoiling anything for you. Then my gosh, it picked up, and I had a hard time putting this book down after that. And I liked it. It wasn't a super clean ending. So if you're someone who likes all of your I's dotted and T's crossed and everything neat and tidy at the end of the book, I think you might still really, really enjoy this book, but just be prepared that it's not the tidiest of endings. There are some strings intentionally left untied. I don't think for any sort of sequel or anything like that. I think just in line with love isn't clean, right? And love isn't always simple, and it can't always be, neatly ordered and put away. So I do highly recommend this book. It was definitely not one I would have picked up for myself if it hadn't been on the summer book club list. But I'm glad that I read it. It was very good. And then right now I am listening to, I'll hold it up and see if you can see it, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. Again, this was also on the Modern Mrs. Darcy summer book club reading list, and is about a woman named Elizabeth Zott, who is a scientist, female scientist in the 50s, mid 50s, early 60s. And it is, I'm only halfway through it, so I'm still kind of figuring out what it's about, right? I didn't really read the description. I just kind of picked it up. And so far I am absolutely enjoying it. I am just a little bit more than halfway through the audiobook at this point. The narrator is phenomenal. She does an excellent job. But Elizabeth, she's a chemist. She has a master's degree, and it is an interesting mix. So it started in at one point in time, and then it went back to kind of the beginning of her career, and has now sort of caught up to the present day, right? The time frame from the very beginning of the book, to sort of explain how she got to where she was at the beginning of the book. And it is, so far it's been a really, really engaging story. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away. But it involves sort of the place of women in science in the 50s, which of course was a very marginalized place. And, her trying to find her way. And so far I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I'm not doing a very good job of describing it, in part because I haven't finished it yet, but I'm really enjoying it. If you're looking for a good audiobook that you can just kind of sit and sink your ears into while you're cleaning or stitching or doing other things, I would say this one's definitely it. I tend to listen on my drive into work. I'll listen on my drive in, and then I park a couple blocks away from my office, so I'll put my AirPods in and listen while I'm walking to my office. That tends to be my big audiobook time. And then sometimes while I'm sitting at my daughter's fencing lessons or scout meetings, I'll put in the earphones and listen while I'm stitching, or just sit and listen. And I'm really, really enjoying it. So I would also highly recommend that one so far. And I'll let you know when I finish it, sort of the end result. All right. Well, that is all I have for you today. I want to thank you so much, as always, for spending some time with me. Again, use the word floss in the comments if you are interested in winning one of the floss winders that my dad made. Let me know 2/2, 1/1 for October's, what you think looks best for that. And anything else that you want to share with me. I always love to hear what you're working on, what you're stitching, what you're reading, any of those things. All right, I guess I can't put off finishing cleaning my house any longer. As always, I hope that you all have a wonderful couple of weeks. Hug your loved ones, take care of yourselves, happy stitching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.